New York Jets fans finally have something to be excited about. Huge 34-31 upset win over the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm Glenn Naughton with JetNation Radio and JetNation.com. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check us out on JetNation.com. Log in and become a part of what is the most active Jets message board on the web. What a game. What an absolute monster game. Mike White, first NFL start. All he does is go out and throw for 400 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, a couple of picks. The picks were, one, he led his receiver a little too much, who got a hand on it. I believe it was Crowder, batted it up, defender got it. Second one, White gets rid of the ball a little too early, hits his own receiver in the head. The ball bounces off of him and falls into the hands of a defender. So these weren't ugly, way off target, what the hell is he doing type of throws. So really a phenomenal game by Mike White. But the two things that jumped out at me that I want to talk about. One, Mike LaFleur being upstairs. We've heard it preseason, off-season, regular season. That's where LaFleur wants to be. Robert Saleh insisting on LaFleur being on the sideline, so he's got Mike White. He's got Zach Wilson's ear, and they can kind of look him in the eye and work through whatever they're doing that particular day. And today, Robert Saleh says, "Go ahead and go upstairs." So LaFleur being upstairs is a big one. But what was even bigger to me, and if you listen to us on JetNation Radio, if you're reading the articles, if you're on our forums, even just the other day, if you follow me on Twitter, you've heard me say it a million times. This is a frustrating time. This has been a frustrating time for Jets fans because we spent this entire offseason and preseason talking about how loaded this receiver room was, and how this Jets team was going to be able to create mismatches by going 4 and 5 wide and forcing teams to test the depth of their secondary. And we just haven't seen it. It's been all two tight end, 21 personnel all season, where instead of, as I've said before, instead of Zach Wilson dropping back and looking at, Denzel Mims to throw to, instead he's looking at Ryan Griffin. Nothing against Ryan Griffin, but he's not Denzel Mims. So Denzel Mims gets on the field today, gets some opportunity, drops a touchdown, which was a killer, absolute killer, but had a huge catch and run early on. And Mims, the entire offense got involved, the entire receiver room. Michael Carter, Jamison Crowder, Ty Johnson, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole, Tyler Kroft, Berrios, Jeff Smith, Ryan Griffin, all had catches today. Spread the ball out. Everybody had an opportunity to make a play. Michael Carter, 9 catches for 95. He was fantastic on the ground, 15 for 77, 5.1 a pop. Ty Johnson, 4 for 15. So the Jets ran it well. They threw it well. Over 400 yards from Mike White, as they said on the broadcast, first quarterback to do that since Vinny Testaverde. That's a long time, folks. Quarterback controversy? I mean, Mike White comes out and puts up another 300 and some yards against Indy on Thursday night, and the Jets are going to have some decisions to make. I understand it's all about developing Zach Wilson, but if you have a guy playing that well, I mean, really, you think about this game. If Mike White doesn't bounce that ball off of Michael Carter's head, or if Michael Carter sees that pass coming and makes a catch, or if that ball hits the turf instead of landing in a defender's hands, this is a 3-touchdown, 1-interception performance, and really a fantastic game from White. 37 of 45. He was on fire. The Jets scored their first quarter touchdown of the year on their opening drive, where Mike White was methodical. A lot of short stuff, a lot of screens, but he still did everything that was asked of him. He did it well, performed at a higher level than we've seen from Zach Wilson at any point this season in terms of a long, sustained drive to start the game. On defense, Jabari Zuniga sighting. Jabari Zuniga, elevated from the practice squad, gets to the quarterback today. Didn't see that coming. I'm the first one to admit. And it's one game. But I honestly, after the Jets parted ways with Zuniga, and he cleared through waivers and nobody else picked him up, and he sat on the practice squad all this time and nobody poached him, I thought, okay, there's not a team in the league that thinks this guy can play. If you thought he could play, you'd poach him. He's the top 100 pick who's a pass rusher. Those guys don't sit on practice squads if they can play. But Zuniga looked good today. You have to give credit. Also, let's give credit to Chuma Edoga. Now, listen, we got to watch the All-22. There might be some ugliness that doesn't jump out while you're watching the game live. But Fant goes out with an ankle. Edoga came in on the handful of reps where I focused solely on him. He handled himself well. So, and that's after not playing. He only played 4 snaps last week, and he got smoked. This week, stepped in for Fant, and The pass pro was very good. The run blocking was outstanding. As I said, 5.1 a carry from Michael Carter. You really can't say enough about the way this team played all around. The Cincinnati Bengals, the high flying, explosive offense that we expected to see was. We did see Cincinnati make some plays. They did put up 31, but really, you thought Joe Burrow, the way this Jets defense played last week, you thought, well, if the Bengals are down, Joe Burrow's just going to keep throwing it, and he's going to be the guy throwing for 400 yards. In the end, he throws for 259, which is respectable enough. But the Jets absolutely shut down the run. Joe Mixon held to just 2.4 a carry, 33 yards on 14 touches. We didn't see the Jets get smoked and eaten up in the screen game. That was fantastic. Quinnen Williams early on was on fire. Sheldon Rankins had a couple of flash plays. And this defense really stepped up today. This isn't to say they were perfect, but in terms of what we expected coming into this, even Jamar Chase, 3 catches for 22. This is a guy who's absolutely on fire. Nobody expected the Jets to be able to slow him down, and they did. They did. He did get a score, but still coming into this game, you're looking at this thing going, you can pencil Jamar Chase in for 125. 8 catches and 125 and see and start. That should be your starting point. So really, Jets had a huge goal line stand early in the game, where the Bengals had the ball at the 1, and you can't say enough about this performance. The most encouraging thing being not just Mike White's play, but all around. A lot of the young kids, like I said, Michael Carter, excellent game. Denzel Mims, again, he didn't have a ton of targets, but he played well. Early on, like I said, big catch on what looked like a drag route from left to right, made the play. 2 catches for 30. Ty Johnson, 5 for 71. He's after he had a game earlier in the year where he had 2 or 3 drops and people, he can't catch the ball. This guy can't catch. He's all of a sudden catching the ball an awful lot. Maybe we stop giving up on guys after a bad week. So listen, it's one game, but it is one hell of a game. And I, for one, to see these guys play this well against a team this good. Now, did the Bengals come in flat? Did the Bengals take the Jets lightly? Perhaps. Jets caught a break on a late flag. Ty Johnson, it gave the Jets a first down. Ty Johnson looked to lower his helmet toward the defender. The defender was already lowered. Ty Johnson came to him, and the Jets got the 15-yard penalty in the first down. But the Jets still had the lead, still had the ball. This isn't, maybe they hold on and win anyway, but they did get a little bit of help. And, God forbid, the Jets get a little help, right? So I don't think you're going to see too many Jets fans crying in their beer over the Jets finally catching a break. But let's face it, whether they had caught that break or not, they made plenty of plays on their own. The Jets did a fantastic job. Tyler Kroft, first touchdown as a Jet against his old team, the former Cincinnati Bengal. And you really can't say enough about the effort all around. The O-line was as good as it's been all year. The D-line flashed at times, as I said. And the secondary, they held up against some, mainly Jamar Chase is the guy that everyone came in and thought he was going to have a huge day. He didn't do a whole lot. And Mike White spread the ball around, accurate. We saw some trick plays. Just a fantastic game. Fantastic, exciting. Maybe some more of these would be nice. Where you score points and win football games. That'd be great, Jets. How about, let's keep this going. So Thursday night, Jets have the Bengals next. But as a fan right now, I'm flying high. I'm feeling really good about this. We don't get a lot of these. But oddly enough, thought about this earlier, if the Jets were to win today and they pull it off. Their last 4 wins, if 4 wins in the last season and a half, all against good teams. They beat the Rams, playoff team. They beat the Browns, playoff team. Earlier this year, they beat the Titans, probably going to be a playoff team this year. And then you beat the 5-2 Bengals today. So the Jets, weird game, this football, isn't it? That'll do it for me now tonight. And be sure to tune into JetNation Radio Tuesday nights. It'll be Dylan and Alex and Dylan. I will not be part of the equation. I will be calling in. I'm going to start doing a pod earlier in the day, probably a little bit shorter. And that'll be Monday morning. And be sure to tune into that. Looking forward to Thursday night, where maybe the Jets string a couple together and win 2 in a row. But that'll do it for now, and enjoy the win, folks. We don't get many of them. Have a great night, Jets fans.